Hello, everybody. So, today there are quite a few things that I want to address. And I'm a little fired up. I'm not going to lie. I don't even know where to start because there are so many things that seem so important to talk about. But I think I'll start with what I view as the most important thing, and that is human trafficking. I don't look like what I've been through. And a lot of people seem to think that that's really funny. A lot of people don't believe me, and a lot of people seem to take great pleasure in making fun of me. Most people that are in my situation or have been in my situation have been in it their lifetime. Have been brought up with um, low self-esteem. Being told and taught that they're stupid, that they're ugly, that they're never going to amount to anything, that anything that you can tell a person that's going to lower their self-esteem. Okay, that's one of the things that they do to you when they traffic you. They tell you that no one is ever going to believe you, so it's not going to do you any good to talk to anybody. And then you have Stockholm syndrome, where you're afraid to talk to anybody. You're afraid because you don't want to get people that you love in trouble. And you do love these people. The problem is these people don't love you. They never did. All you are to them is a meal ticket, a way for them to make money off of your back. People who are human trafficked that go seeking medical attention, I'm just going to tell you right now that the questions that you ask when you go in to seek medical attention, do you feel safe at home? Do you have enough food? Nobody that's being trafficked is going to say yes to those questions. And if they have ever said yes to those questions, they're automatically looked at like they're paranoid, like they have some kind of a mental issue, like there's something wrong with them and not something wrong with what's going on around them. So your questions are ridiculous. And America, you need to do better. We need to find a way to really make a difference. I called that 800 number for human trafficking, and it was pointless. It was ridiculous. All I got was transferred to another number and another number and another number. And then when I finally got somebody who had the right place for me to talk to, there wasn't room for me. And even if there was room for me, they wouldn't let me have my animals. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. I have lost everything in my life. Everything. I'll be damned if I'm going to give up my animals because they were the only things that kept me grounded. They were the only things that got me through because there was nobody. My own kid didn't believe me. She does now. She didn't believe me then. I was truly alone in this. Even the authorities didn't believe me. No one believed me. When I was a child, I tried to tell people. Nobody believed me. People still don't believe me. I went through a dark night of the soul, Friday and Saturday, and I had a freaking meltdown at work. And it came out that I escaped being trafficked. And I had people where I worked laughing at me. My children have been put in harm's way. My grandchildren have been put in harm's way because of what is happening to me. And you laugh? You think it's funny? You have no idea what I have been through. I was gang raped before I was 5 years old. You think that's funny? Live in my shoes, walk in my shoes, and see how freaking funny it is then. How would you feel if this was somebody in your family? How would you feel if this was you and you were mocked and you were laughed at? How would you feel then? Just exactly like I do, like nobody gives a damn. Our healthcare workers need to do better. Our government needs to do better. Stop treating people like they're freaking insane because their story doesn't make sense in your head. When a traffic person tells somebody what's happening to them and nobody believes them, the last thing that they're going to do is ever speak on it again because they know that they're not going to be believed. And even if there was somebody out there that would believe them, they still wouldn't say anything because they're so used to not being believed. Why do you think these people turn to drugs? Why do you think they turn to alcohol? Not everybody is strong enough. Not everybody knows how to deal with this, and not everybody has the gifts that I have to get them through this. That is why I have to be their voice. That is why I was given my gifts. That is why I am the one who is bringing this to light, because I have lived it. Don't diminish the things that people say to you because it doesn't make sense in your head. Don't judge people. The last thing that our healthcare workers should be doing is judging a person upon appearance before they ever even see this person as a patient. Shame on you. Shame on you. It's disgusting behavior. You're supposed to be professionals. I have been trying to find an attorney because I was hurt at a work for Brookshire Brothers Corporation, the store, Brookshire Brothers. I was hurt. I fell and I actually fractured my leg, but they failed to tell me that it was fractured and they sent me to physical therapy, to which it became a non-displaced fracture, which created a longer healing time, but nobody told me it was fractured. So I was working and acting like it wasn't fractured. I was going up and down stairs. I was doing everything that they told me to do in physical therapy. I was doing everything that they told me to do, lifting the weights, doing the exercises, everything, which caused a non-displaced fracture. I was never given time enough for my leg to heal. Well, then they decided that there wasn't anything more that they could do for me, and they closed my case. Still, with a fractured leg, having to go to the emergency room because I was having pain in a way that I hadn't had pain before. Well, that's when they decided they were going to cut it off. They were not going to do any more for me. They had me walk in a room where you could barely take 3 steps and say, "Oh, well, I don't see a limp." Last time I went to the work comp doctor, he asked me why my blood pressure was so high. And I said, because I just got off the phone with an attorney, to which he mumbled under his breath that I had a fracture in my leg, a tib. I can't remember. Tib fib. Anyways, the inside of the knee, the closest to the inside of the knee, whatever bone that is. I can't think of it right now because I'm a little fired up. So then I get a text message from somebody I think is an attorney that might want to help me through this. Nope, sure wasn't. It was an attorney that was getting in contact with me because Brookshire Brothers Corporation hasn't paid Breg for the leg brace that I had to have when I went into the emergency room on March 30th. So now I'm being turned over to collections because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not living up to what they're supposed to do for the work comp. Not to mention the fact that I was told to stay off of my feet, but I had a coworker who was not interested in any way, shape, or form in the deli, that was not interested in helping me, that would pretty much tell me to get it myself when I was supposed to stay off of my leg at work. Minimal. When I mentioned something to the supervisor, she flat out told him no. She wasn't going to help me. I could do it myself. It was her Friday. She wasn't doing shit. That was her response. And I'm not even kidding. She told her supervisor, her manager, that it was her Friday and she wasn't going to do shit. So anything that I needed to do, I had to do it myself. Well, I went to the store manager, to which I got attitude. And they ended up moving me back into the produce cutting fruit, to where I could be sitting down, but I still had to get up and I still had to get the fruit. I was still moving around, but at this point, I didn't realize that my leg was really fractured. So I was doing everything I could to get myself better, thinking I was helping myself when actually I was only harming myself. So I need an attorney. However, there's no real way for you to get in touch with me because my phone is still being hacked and my emails are still being hacked, which segues into something else. I mentioned that I was open for readings, that I would be doing readings over online. Well, let me tell you, anybody who has contacted me to get a reading from me, I first of all never got the contact. Second of all, if you paid for it. And third of all, it wasn't me that gave you the reading. There's somebody out there pretending to be me who's making money off of my site and hacking my crap in order to do it. Well, let me tell you, whoever you are, lady, you owe me a lot of money. And I intend to collect it. Okay, so moving on to the next. I got a text message, a group text message from area code 586. I'm going to read you the numbers. 586-422-8225 and 586-746-7345. Those are the two phone numbers that sent me this text message that I'm about to read to you. This was a text message that I tried to show the police in Colorado, to which I was told the only thing that they could do was take an over-the-phone incident report. They never even came to look at this, which is because there are officials who are being paid in Colorado to ignore everything that's been happening to me. This is a federal offense, by the way, which I will be filing charges for. And not so coincidentally, the 586 area code so happens to be my not so best friend Trista Beetham and Pat Sauburn's place of where they came from. Not so coincidental. This is probably family members of theirs. So here we go. Linda, it's us. You will die. To which I responded, I haven't had this good of a laugh in a long time. Thanks. What do you mean, Linda? We are the coven. To which I responded, I don't care who you are. And we found your doppelganger. Why are you laughing? You should be scared. To which I responded, I'm not scared. And they responded, Hohenwald, Tennessee. To which I sent them a voice of me laughing at them, because at this point it's just laughable. Then they said, this is your doppelganger. And they sent me a picture of myself. Picture that was taken of me when I was working at Community Hospital in Grand Junction, Colorado. Okay. And then they gave me my post office box of 316 in Hohenwald, Tennessee. And it says, I will mail her body parts to you. To which I responded, tell Trista I said hi. They said, we let her have a little bit of phone time. Seems like she went to your YouTube. Hey, Linda, you're next. Your parrot is also a witch. Linda, tell Betty L. Schaefer I said hi. To which I responded, I don't speak to her anymore. Y'all should know that if you're the coven. And they said, good job. Now we know it's the real you. Wanted to make sure you weren't another doppelganger. Then they sent me this picture of this man showing his bare butt in the background, which I had to color out. Okay, they sent me a picture of that man. After they sent a picture of that man to me, they said, have you seen this man before? And then they said, Linda, we want you to know the truth. But if you make a video about it, we will kill you. So what's the truth? I said. They responded, he's a popular meme. And I said, and? The Illuminati is real, they replied. The treasure of the U.S. is real. People sell their soul to the devil for fame, and there are many secret societies. Say yes if you have seen him. I didn't say yes. I said, and ... They said, Linda, you are the chosen one. We want you to join. We want to join the New World Order and be a leader. We want you. Then, randomly, the word poop. Linda, you make my poop go soft. We know the leader of the Freemasons and the Illuminati. My mom is friends with them. They threatened my life in this text message. That's a federal offense. And the police in Colorado, in Grand Junction, did nothing about it. 3 days later, I get another text message from these people. Linda, we are so sorry for everything we said. We left out our old ways. We are now with God. My faith is in the Lord now, Linda. I'm trying to make amends with everyone, and I wanted to apologize sincerely from my heart that I am so sorry for anything that I said. The devil got to me, and I let him take control. But now I let him go, and I am with God. 3 days later, seriously? I hope you will forgive me, Linda, in the name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Please, Linda, take back the report. I'm praying and praying for forgiveness. Please, I don't want anything to happen to my family. It's like what Jesus says in the Bible, forgive and forget. Well, you're forgiven, but it will not be forgotten. And I will make sure that it is not forgotten, because this is a federal offense to threaten somebody's life over social media, through text message. And I will again be pressing charges to the fullest extent of the law. Capiche? I am so sick and tired of you people. I am so sick and tired of having to deal with you people day in and day out. You are not allowed in my energy. You are not allowed in my energy. So, when I was a child, I was used in their sex rituals, which I just told you that I was gang raped before I was even the age of 5 by grown men. I was drugged. They drew my blood and they drank it. They cut off locks of my hair so they could use them in rituals against me at a later date. They caused me illnesses, migraines, thyroid issues, constant constipation. Well, I can imagine as a young child being sodomized would probably cause some issues in that area, wouldn't you think? Female issues. Oh, dear Lord, have mercy. The female issues that I dealt with before I had my hysterectomy, it was unreal. I was in the emergency room almost every month with either a migraine or with female issues. Cysts. When I had my hysterectomy, the doctor that did it for me said he had never seen anything like it before. My insides, my uterus, on the inside, the outside, the ovary that was left, everything, the fallopian tubes, he said, were covered in thousands of little cysts. It's no wonder I was in excruciating pain. I mentioned that I was always sick when it came to the holidays. Well, that's because on Halloween, this cult of a family that claims to be my family, that's not my family, started doing their rituals on Halloween to make me sick. I was always sick through the holidays, always. And I remained sick with migraines for a very, very, very long time. But I can tell you now, the migraines are gone. The thyroid issue, gone. The constant constipation I had, gone. Because I removed myself from these disgusting people. For 3 days, 2 days, 2 days, for 2 days, every single time I went to sleep, I was dreaming about people trying to unalive me. I had a dream about my Aunt Marvell. She was telling me that they did the same things to her. They harvested her energy. She was an empath. They harvested her energy. They used her. They abused her. And they gave her a nervous breakdown, I think more than one. I was told about a time when she was in the hospital. She was sharing a room with another patient. The curtain was drawn between her and the patient. So when my dad, her brother, half brother, David Emerson, walked in the room, he purposely triggered her by talking to her about being sodomized, which was a trigger for her. And she began displaying aggravation so that they could prove that she was insane, that she was the one that was crazy, that she was the one that had the problem. But in all actuality, it was them that created this problem in her. They caused her post-traumatic stress disorder. And they knew what buttons to push to get her to go off. Exactly the same thing that they did to me, because I also have CPTSD from the things that my family has done to me. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And they knew exactly how to push my buttons to get me to go off, just like they knew how to punch my Aunt Marvy's buttons to get her to go off, to make her look insane. All the while, my so-called mother and my so-called father were schmoozing it up with the people that worked at the hospital, making themselves look like they were just the greatest people in the whole wide world. They were loving brothers, sister-in-law. They would do anything for her. Well, in the meantime, they were triggering her in the room when she was unattended. The man that was in the room with her overheard what my father, David Emerson, was saying to her. I believe that they did something to this man, because in my dream, I said to him, "You need to watch your back." He scoffed at me, and I said, "I'm not kidding. It's not a joke. You need to watch your back." I think they may have even unalived this man, because he would have blown the whole story. He would have blown everything up, and it would have been known that they were doing these things to purposely trigger her. In the dream, when David Emerson said to my Aunt Marvy what he said, this man was appalled. And he said, "I wouldn't talk to a total stranger like that, let alone my sister." Had another dream. I was with a so-called friend who wasn't really a friend, and we were in a restaurant where we met up with some other friends of hers. I was sitting in a booth. My so-called friend was sitting on the outside of the booth, and this person that I didn't know, who was a friend of my friend, on the other side. But when she got in the booth, she was kind of laying down a little bit. The next thing I know, I feel something on my leg. So I pull my leg back and I look under the booth, and she's trying to stick me with some kind of a pin, a needle, something that had poison on it. The person sitting next to me that was a so-called friend wouldn't let me out of the booth. So I start kicking and I start screaming and I start yelling for help, when suddenly this very large man approaches the end of the table, and suddenly the dream completely ended. That was Archangel Michael. So there are apparently people now that are trying to do protection spells over themselves because they know they're caught, and they're trying to protect themselves from the evil that they've been sending to me that has been returning to them. because everything that they've done to me bounced off of me, went back to them. Because God, the archangels, and my ancestors are protecting me and not letting any of your garbage hit me. So now they're doing protection spells in hopes that they can stop whatever they conjured coming back to them. Well, let me just tell you this. There are no protection spells that you can do that are going to protect you from your karma, from what you have coming. You will face whatever it is that you sent to me. The only way that you all can come for me is in groups, because not one of you has the nerve, the guts to come to me face to face. You all live in your past traumas. You never did any work, any self-work to try to get past your own traumas. You're stunted at whatever age that you were when those traumas occurred. You're stunted in that age. Your mind frame is still in that age, childish. And you want to take it out on everybody else. You want to take it out on me. Why don't you sit down and think about what you need to heal in yourself and stop causing trauma and trouble for other people because you're miserable and because you don't want to deal with your own crap. As I mentioned, I went through another dark night of the soul over last weekend. At this particular time, they were throwing energy at me for me to be afraid, for me to go back on the run, because they want me to be homeless. They want me to not be stable. They want me to be afraid, and they want me to run. Well, I'm going to tell you something. During that dark night of the soul, with that energy being thrown at me, I wanted to. I did. I wanted to. But I didn't. And I'm not going to. I'm not running from you people anymore. I'm facing you head on. Do you understand that? Head on. Every time I go through a dark night of the soul, I come out stronger. And my gifts increase. There is a judge that's involved in this, that is being watched by Internal Affairs. I believe that they've already caught on to the things that this judge is doing. I believe that they may already be pressing charges on this judge. This judge has taken bribes from family members. This judge has taken bribes from many, many people to put innocent people away. So once this judge goes to prison, I really hope that y'all go back and revisit a lot, if not most, of the cases that this judge reigned over and make it right for these people. A slap on the wrist and 6 years in jail isn't enough for the harm that he's caused, by the way, or she. It might be a woman judge in male energy. So there is someone out there that is suffering in a lot of grief and a lot of heartbreak because I am still accomplishing with my gifts of manifestation the justice that I deserve. They are ruined, they are defeated, and they have failed. They are living in nostalgia. They are thinking of all of the good old days. Well, let me tell you something. I don't remember good old days. Wanting to recover and renew a friendship with me. Nope, not gonna happen. There's a man that is extremely arrogant, and he's a dictator. He's aggressive, he's hasty, and he's out of control, and he's a bully. And he has been rendered powerless, ineffective, because I'm still held in a high status. I've kept my peace. I've been patient. I've been cautious. I've been doing exactly what the Most High has been telling me to do. And I'm still moving toward my goals and preparing and exploring. And I have persevered, established some very strong boundaries, and have come through so much adversity that you people have thrown at me. I've used my talents, my expertise, and with that mixed with the commitment that I've made, there have been times that I've been a little lazy and imbalanced. Times that I've felt very overwhelmed with all of this. But I always manage to come back stronger. And I manage to stay balanced. There's a woman out there in her masculine energy who is now being very melodramatic. She's vain. She's a narcissist who's bitter, uncaring, and enraged right now because she's in despair and living in her trauma, paranoid, and wants to escape a relationship that is in disarray. There's a lack of trust, there's disharmony, there's tension, there's coldness, and there is no fulfillment. She's with a childish male who's rude, insulting, spiteful, who likes to gossip like a little biatch to manipulate people. There are some sudden changes now that are taking place, and things are starting to progress quickly. Due to this person's cocky impulsiveness and his volatile ways, things are being brought to the light and into the public eye. I am getting this victory, this recognition, and this success. And I have put a lot of hard work into this. I have sown a lot of seeds, and things are starting to come to fruition. It has been slow results, but there's going to be long-term rewards. And there has been some kind of a new development in this situation. I already know that I've won this. I already know that I have an inheritance, a trust that has been given back to me. I already know that y'all are going to prison. I already know that I'm taking you to court for defamation. I already know the outcome of this situation. And I am about to be blessed in front of all of my enemies. God is setting my table in front of my enemies, where you will watch me eat. None of this had to happen if y'all had done the right thing. But God was testing you, and you failed. I would have shared everything I had with you, with all of you. But it wasn't good enough. You wanted more. Well, you got more. Maybe not the more you thought you were going to get, but you definitely got more than you ever expected. That is all I have for today. I think that's plenty. I hate that I have to get worked up like that, but I'm a passionate person. And this human trafficking is a serious situation, and it needs to be addressed in a much more positive mind frame from people who have the ability to help. We don't need your damn judgment. We need your help. Check yourselves at the door. If you're a healthcare worker, you have no place to judge anybody coming to you for help. You have no place to judge anyone, period. Yes, I'm real. Whoever you are that just sent that to me. Yes, I'm real. I'm as real as it gets. And this situation is as real as it gets. Stop judging a book by its cover. Start looking at the soul of people. You're going to need to go back and you're going to need to watch the video from the beginning. Whoever you are that just asked me what happened, that you just joined, because I'm about ready to end this right now. So please just go back and watch the video. Better yet, go back to my very first video, The Unreal is Real, because that is the very basic of what is happening and happened in my life. I love you all. Please love each other. Love yourselves. And I'll catch you all later. Have a great Sunday. God bless you.